What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another full day of eating. Today is Wednesday, December the 16th, and I am getting ready to head out for work, and I'm gonna stop and pick up meal number one on the way. Also, it's supposed to snow today, so that might be a kind of interesting video. Alright guys, so I'm back at Starbucks for meal number one. Let me show you guys what I got. Do a grande Americano, 3 Splenda, splash of heavy whipping cream, and then I did 2 reduced fat turkey bacon sandwiches. So if you watched my last full day of eating, this is the same thing I ate for meal number one in that video. And I would say I probably eat this maybe a couple times a week. I do come to Starbucks quite often. It's just right by my house and convenient. I'll show you guys the sandwich. Alright guys, so I'm just getting back to the house, and I realized that as I was trying to give the nutrition info for meal number one, the camera was not at all in focus. So I want to break that down for you real quick before we move on to the next segment. So meal number one, we're looking at 560 calories, 34 grams of protein, 56 carb, and 22 fat. Alright guys, so in this next section of the video, I'm going to be talking about some upcoming changes to my training program. So if you're just here for the meals, I will have all of the meals time-stamped in the description box below. So just go to the description box and click on the timestamp for meal number 2, and you can skip over this portion of the video. So if you guys have been following me from the beginning, if you guys have been following, I guess, my lean bulk journey from the beginning, then you will know, and I'll link to the video here, that I have designed this programming specifically to emphasize growth on the chest. And I've divided the program into 2 separate phases. With phase 1, which is coming to a close at the end of this week, an 8-week period focused specifically on growing the upper part of the chest, while phase 2, which will be going for another 8 additional weeks, is going to be focused on growing the lower part of the chest. So let me pull up the ebook for phase 2. Of course I have to download it. Classic. Why does Google Docs have to be reinstalled right now? So if you guys recall from that previous video where I did kind of break down in detail my training program, you might recall that I said I was going to be taking sort of an outside-in approach. And what I meant by that, just to kind of reiterate, is that, in order to grow the upper chest, I'm going to focus on adding in additional volume into exercises that target the outer portion of the pec. So I've been doing cable incline flies using a rest pause style of training. And then the inside, meaning, some sort of pressing movement that targets the inner part of the chest. And for that, I've been doing a kneeling landmine press, again utilizing rest pause training to get as much blood flow and hypertrophy occurring in those particular muscle groups. All right, let me pull this up. So all I really want to do in this portion of the video is kind of talk about the differences between phase 1 and phase 2 from a training standpoint, what exercises I'm adding in, what exercises I'm adding out, and whether or not I'm going to be rotating any exercises in where I may be slowly coming up on a plateau in some of my compound lifts. So for my training program, I like to hit everything twice a week. So I do a 4-day split where I pair chest, back, and bis together, and then shoulders, legs, and tris together. So right now I'm training Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday I'll go into the gym and do a little bit of cardio and some ab work, and then I'll go and lift again on Thursday, Friday, where I hit every muscle group for a second time. Now, I'm not doing I'm not doing 2 identical workouts twice a week. They are different workouts, so 4 different workouts, but each of the muscle groups is getting targeted specifically twice a week. So just to give you guys kind of an idea, I'm going to put, my current split, or my training days rather, with the exercises and rep scheme breakdown, kind of side by side with what's to come, just so you can see the changes a little bit more visually and in a little bit more detail. So for my Monday workout, so chest, back, and bis 1, I still am going to start with the flat bench. Right now I'm working 3 sets with a reverse pyramid style of training, with the first set going for 4 to 6 as far as the rep range. And then I'm also going to be adding in a bent over row for my horizontal pulling motion. So I've been doing a 1-arm row on a machine, and it's like a hammer strength machine that you can load with plates. So I've made good progress on that, but just honestly, for the sake of some variety, for the sake of changing things up and keeping it interesting, I decided I wanted to add in bent over rows. So next, in phase 1, I would go and do incline dumbbell. So I'm gonna actually swap that out for the kneeling landmine press. So I'm going to continue to do that because as far as progress that I've made so far in phase 1, I feel like the incline flies have been really effective, but as far as noticeable gains in the inner part of my chest, the upper inner part of my chest, I feel like it still needs some work. So I want to continue to include the kneeling landmine press, so I'm swapping that in for the dumbbell incline press. After that, I'm going to be switching from a lat pull down to a lat pull over for my vertical pull motion, so targeting the lats specifically. And I'm going to be switching over from a rep focused scheme where I'm doing 3 sets of 12 to 15, increasing the weight each set. And I'm going to go to a rest pause style of training where I can really focus on getting a good pump and a good contraction. After that, like I said, outside in is the approach I'm taking for the chest. So for the lower portion of the chest, for that outside movement, I'm going to be adding in a pec deck fly. And then I'm not going to change my bicep movement. I'm still making good progress on the incline alternating dumbbell curls, so I'm going to continue moving forward with that for chest, back, and bis 1, or my Monday workout. So looking at my Tuesday workout, the only change that I'm planning to make, I've been doing a conventional deadlift and I've decided that I want to try out sumo. So as far as what led me to that decision, I have heard and I've read that sumo takes a little bit of emphasis off the lower back, and I've been dealing with back issues for 3 or 4 years now from an injury that I got doing conventional deadlifts. It is what it is. So if there's ever a movement where I can take strain off the lower back, I usually like to opt for that. Secondary to that, I have read that sumo deadlifts put a little bit more emphasis on the quads, and I would like to grow my quads. I have always had skinny legs, and anytime I can put emphasis on the quads specifically, because if you notice, people with really aesthetic legs have big quads. So I'm trying to grow my quads, so that's why I'm switching to a sumo. A little less strain on the lower back and a little more emphasis on the quads. Other than that, I'm gonna keep everything the same for shoulders, legs, and tris 1, just switching to a sumo instead of a conventional. So going into my Thursday workout, the first 2 exercises are gonna stay the same. Incline bench press and weighted chin-ups, rep schemes will stay the same. Still making a lot of good progress on those lifts, so it's not really a good time to rotate to anything new, it's just not necessary. But then the third exercise is where things are going to change slightly. So I've been doing cable crossovers. I'm gonna change that specifically to a close grip bench press, again, outside in. So the inside portion of the pec, I'm going to just do some rep focused training with a close grip bench press. I have found in the past that my chest responds really well. The inner lower part of the pec responds really well to close grip bench press. So I'm excited to be adding that in. Exercise 4, I've been doing just a machine row for my horizontal pull. I'm gonna transition over to a cable pull. So it's not a huge difference. We're talking about a close grip handle versus 2 handles here. So not a huge difference, but that's what I'm gonna be doing for my horizontal pull. Just wanna change it up a little bit. And then to get a little bit more volume on the lower part of the chest, my gym has a hammer strength and decline press. So I'm going to be taking advantage of that, and again, using a rep focused style of training. So 3 sets, 12 to 15, increasing the weight by about 10% each set. And then cable curls will stay the same for the biceps. Gonna continue to use rest pause, and then I'm gonna change up the bent over reverse flies for a reverse pec deck to hit the rear delts, and again using rest pause training to get some good hypertrophy. So going into the last workout of the week, I'm pretty sure, let me look through this. Yeah, nothing's gonna change here. It's gonna stay the same as it was for phase 1. Standing barbell press, back squats, lateral raise machine, isolateral seated hamstring curls, tricep push downs, and then single leg calf raises. So that's pretty much it as far as differences and changes to the training program. As far as shoulders and lower body, those are gonna stay the same for the most part, other than changing up, the variation of the deadlift. Gonna go to a sumo. That's the shift from an incline upper chest focused program, into phase 2 where we're focusing more on the lower pec. And so that's it as far as the training goes. Again, I'm going to link to these ebooks down in the description. I'll send them to you absolutely for free. I'm gonna put separate links for phase 1 and for phase 2. So if you're, just kind of stumbling upon this video and, I'm going into phase 2, but you're, considering starting the program for yourself, definitely start with phase 1, transition into phase 2, or start with phase 2, transition into phase 1. Honestly, whatever you decide to do could be effective, and ultimately it's up to you. So I will link to both of those programs in the description below. It is an ebook, and not only do I give you the workouts, but I also go into explicit detail on the different training principles that we utilize, why they're effective, how they're effective. I touch on the nutrition, and I even show you how to calculate your goal calories and macros for yourself should you decide to embark on a lean bulk of your own. So that is gonna wrap up this portion of the video. Just wanted to check back in with you guys and just give you an update on where my training is at and where I'm looking to go moving forward. I will be doing, I guess, kind of a final physique update at the end of phase 1 later this week and tell you, kind of what my starting weight was and where my weight is at now. Things have been progressing really nicely, and I'm excited to be moving into phase 2. So I will check back in with you guys when it's time for meal number 2. All right, guys, so I know I said I was gonna check in at meal number 2, but I just got to Natalie's house and I got word from her this morning that she's put the dogs in Christmas sweaters. And I had to show you guys, so let's go take a look. Boys! Max, look at you! Boys, you guys look so funny. Hi, boy. Let me sit out here. Coders! Max, let me just get a good shot. Look at that. Let me get a good shot at Dakota. You guys look good, man. Hey, Max. Hey, buddy. Hey, Coders. Hey, Coders. All right, so it is in fact time for meal number 2. So let's have a seat at the table and I'll show you guys what I've got. All right, guys, so for meal number 2, I've got 2 things. The first is a turkey sandwich from the deli at my local grocer. And this is a turkey Swiss on a Hawaiian roll. So this is one of those things where it's like, it may be too good to be true, but I tracked this in MyFitnessPal right at 300 calories. And it's kind of hard to believe. It may or may not be correct, but it's one of those things where it's like, ignorance is bliss. It's like Walden Farms 0-calorie syrup. I don't know how they do it, but I don't care. If they say there are no calories in it, there are no calories in it. So the way that this tracks, it says one sandwich is 300 calories with 39 grams of protein. So I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna say 300 calories, 39 protein for the turkey sandwich. And then the other thing I'm gonna have are these protein puffs. So you guys get a good look at that. They're 2 flavors. This is the pizza one, and this is the cheddar one. Hopefully those are focused. Hopefully I'm in focus again. I don't. So for this entire bag, it's 270 calories and 42 grams of protein. When I stumbled upon these, I swear to you, this was like a unicorn, because for 270 calories, you get 42 grams of protein. Have I said that enough times? 42 grams of protein. And the pizza ones are pretty good. I usually get the cheddar ones. I wanted to change it up a bit, but it's just like eating cheese puffs. And you're getting 42 grams of protein. It's insane. Altogether, we're looking at 570 calories, 39 grams of protein for this, 42 for this. That's more math than I feel like doing in my head. So I will put all of the nutrition facts for meal number 2 on the screen for you right now, and I'm gonna dig into this. All right, guys, so after I finished up meal number 2, after I finished up lunch, the more I thought about it with that sandwich, the more I started to realize there's just no way it's 300 calories. So I took a closer look at the macros, and let me tell you guys specifically what the macros are on that. So we're looking at 34 carb, 15 fat, and 39 grams of protein. So if you calculate calories based on macros, you need to remember that carbs have 4 calories, protein has 4 calories, and fats have 9. So I took those figures and calculated out the number of calories for the meal, and it was not 300. It actually came out to 427. So I retracked it with the corrected calories, and I feel a lot better about those numbers. When I look at it, I just knew there was no way it was 300. And then I went and looked at the macros, and it quite literally did not add up. So tracked it at 427, and I fixed that for myself in MyFitnessPal because, obviously it's not gonna be the last time I eat that sandwich. And I wanna make sure I have accurate figures moving forward. All right, guys, I will check back in with you when it's time for meal number 3.
just full of strong, independent, bold, decisive women. And
Alright guys, so it is about 3:30 and I'm feeling just a little bit hungry, so I do want to have a little snack between now and supper. I'm just going to have a white chocolate macadamia nut Cliff Bar. We're looking at 260 calories, 7 fat, 42 carb, and 9 protein. So this should be enough to hold me over for supper, and when I get ready to start cooking, I will check back in with you guys then. Video, stop. Hey boys. You guys want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? Well, let's go. All right, so we just got back from a nice little evening walk. We did about 3 miles, and it is absolutely disgusting outside. So the forecast said this morning it was gonna snow. Definitely didn't snow. It was just cold ass rain all day long. So it is also about 5:30, so it is time for meal number 3. I'm gonna get started cooking. Tonight I'm doing turkey burgers with goat cheese and a red pepper jelly. I know it sounds bougie, but it's absolutely delicious. On the side, we're gonna have some tater tots. Pretty simple meal, but I was craving burgers. I think I was watching some YouTube video. I think it was like Max Tuning and Rob Lipson, and they were eating burgers. And I was like, damn, I want some burgers. So we're gonna do turkey burgers with tater tots, and I'm gonna show you guys all that and more coming up. Let's get cooking. Okay guys, video. Alright guys, so I'm going to get into this burger. I mean, it is looking so fire. So I'm going to start with one. I'm going to end up having 2 burgers and some tater tots. The tater tots still have about 10 minutes to go in the oven, but I cannot wait to start eating. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys in on the nutrition info for this meal. So for 2 burgers and 2 servings of tater tots with some ketchup, we're looking at 1,176 calories. So I will throw all the macros on the screen for you. It's a high protein meal, pretty high volume meal. So I like to practice intermittent fasting, and you know, I break my fast at varying times. But the big thing is I like to save a lot of calories for supper. I like to have a nice big supper. So this is looking fire. I need to take a bite of this, and I will let you guys know how it is. Very good. Very good. There's kind of a bite from the arugula. The burger's nice and tender, juicy. That goat cheese, the sweetness from the pepper jelly. Absolutely next level flame. Alright guys, just down those 2 burgers, and now the tots are ready to go. So I'm going to have 2 servings of those to start. Actually, I think I'm going to have 3 servings. Let's be real. So let me weigh these out. I have not had tater tots in a hot minute. Comment down below, tater tots or french fries? Because for me, I can't really favor one over the other. It's like I've got an itch for one or the other. Today I was just feeling some tots, so. All right guys, this is gonna wrap up meal number 3. I will put the full calories and macros on the screen once again, and I'll check back in with you guys at meal number 4. Alright guys, so I am just getting back home for the evening. I am about to wrap up this video with meal number 4. And it's not really a meal as much as it is a drink. Going with a nice big cup of chocolate milk. And I did use almond milk, so 2 cups of almond milk and 3 servings of Hershey's chocolate syrup. And so that comes out to just shy of like 200 calories. So like I said, not really a meal, but I do want to take you guys through my daily totals. So I'm looking at 3,028 calories, 200 grams of protein, 340 carb, and 96 fat. So today was a rest day for me. Normally on Wednesdays, I would do a little bit of cardio in the morning, followed by some abs, but this morning I just kind of did some cardio and then a little bit of mobility work and stretching. So as the weather cleared up, I did take the dogs for a couple walks. So my step total for the day is it's like around 18,000. So my expenditure I'm expecting to be a little bit higher, north of 2,800 I would presume. So in order for me to hit, that small surplus that I'm aiming for, 3,000 calories is kind of the sweet spot. So that's exactly where I ended up today, exactly where I wanted to be. And overall, it was a pretty solid full day of eating. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And once again, my name is Sid Jackson. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.